On this episode of Michigan Fishing Nation TV. MFN TV is brought to you by Lunker City Fishing, Gator Bait Tackle, Hog Outdoor, Midwest Power Boxes, Porter Custom Fishing Rods, Jay's Marine Hardware, Underwater Green Fishing Lights, the Icewell Live Well, and Dead End Tackle.
What's up, guys? Good morning. It's about 5:30 in the morning. Met up at Michigan Sportsman with our buddy Dennis. I got my buddy Jeremy Johnson with us, and we're got a little small group of guys going. We're gonna convoy out on the bay today. Real cold weather. Kind of locked everything up, but these winds have been pretty bad the last few days, so we were a little bit worried, but like I said, we're going out with Dennis and some Saginaw Bay veterans, so we feel pretty good about safety in numbers, and we're hoping to get after them today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As soon as we unloaded our gear, we headed to where it felt like the starting line at a snowcross race and waited for Chad, our team lead for the day, to give the signal to start our cold, dark, and windy adventure on the Saginaw Bay. This was Jeremy and I's first actual ice fishing trip experiencing Saginaw Bay. I say actual because in past trips I'd never ventured more than a mile or so out, and today's trip was out there. And that's probably an understatement. We were out there. If you're planning on ice fishing Saginaw Bay, do not go alone, and do as much research as possible beforehand. Be prepared. Known for its world-class fishery and record-breaking walleyes, Saginaw Bay is a bay within Lake Huron, located on the eastern side of Michigan, forming the space between Michigan's Thumb region and the rest of the Lower Peninsula. With the bay being 1,143 square miles in area, it is not to be underestimated and definitely comes with its challenges. After our long journey out, we finally arrived to set up our base camp for the day, and to our surprise, because of the traffic on the way out, we pretty much had the area to ourselves out there, which was kinda nice. With our base camp ready to go, we had our rods ready, with Swedish pimples and jigging wraps. Our flashers and AquaView underwater camera were powered on, and before we knew it, we had our own little fishing control center set up in our shanty, ready to seek out some beautiful Saginaw Bay walleye.
Oh, he's hooked.
Yeah. Got him by the back hook.
Can you get the...
And there you have it. We were on the board with our first Saginaw Bay walleye of the day. And into our Icewell Live Well it goes so we can get after another. Well, maybe after breakfast. Come on, a guy's gotta eat after 5 minutes of fishing, right? I will say, with some bacon, sausage, and eggs paired with a day of ice fishing Saginaw Bay with friends, it just doesn't get any better than this. Okay, I lied. It would have been a little better if someone hadn't forgotten the spatula and paper plates. Right, Jeremy? Just kidding, man. This next walleye makes up for it. Don't hesitate to start reeling that bait up. Many times walleye will follow it up and strike, so don't be afraid to pull it off the bottom.
Got it. Dude, oh my god. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
This was one of the nicest fish I've ever pulled out of the ice.
Saginaw Bay.
Things started to slow down after a while, so we decided to make the rounds and check on how the rest of the group was doing. And our friend Don was off to a great start this morning.
You take a look?
No, I don't. I'm guessing by the...
It's a nice one, man. It's supposed to be the prime time, I thought,
Yeah.
right now.
Don is no stranger to Saginaw Bay and definitely has the skills to show it. Okay, Andy gets some bonus points for being a member of our Facebook group, Michigan Fishing Nation.
Well, good luck. Hopefully it turns out.
Hopefully, it'll get there.
Right.
It'll get there, no. Gotta sit, relax. It might be about time to take a nap here pretty quick.
Sweet.
Next, we headed over to see Chad and his setup for the day, and it looks like he was doing just fine.
Not huge, but they're good eaters.
Yeah, man. Sweet.
The AquaView is an awesome accessory to have during any fishing trip that we'll talk more about in a minute. Can't forget the buddy heater, and our aerated bait tank from Frabill keeps the minnows fresh, and the water sealed tight so it's not splashing around on the trip out. As you can see, Jeremy is enjoying his comfortable MFN hat so much that he's falling asleep. Now back to the AquaView. It gives us a real advantage being able to see how these fish react to our underwater presentations, but at the same time it can be a bit frustrating when they are so finicky in what we have to offer. But it's great to have the recording feature to go back and relearn from mistakes that were made, or to give us new ideas for the next trip. And also, it's just pretty cool to see these things underwater.
Dude, perfect timing, man. Got Dennis here. Check it out, man.
Oh, you got some log, eh?
It's decent.
Yeah, we're gonna make a move quick, so.
Are you?
Yeah, we're not marking it.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to jump on the other side of it or something.
Cool, man.
I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
Now it was Jeremy's turn, and I'd say it was worth the wait.
Nice job, dude. Very, very nice.
Another beautiful Saginaw Bay walleye, and from the looks of it, it wasn't done fighting yet. After things in the shanty seemed to slow down again, we smelled something cooking outside and realized it was time for lunch. So we headed on over to the group to find Eric grilling some tasty burgers on the ice.
Don't mind me. Man, that looks way better than what we just had.
These guys had the setup and definitely made the group trip a lot of fun, and we appreciated the hospitality. A local fisherman stops by to enjoy some conversation.
I suck.
After our lunch break, it was time to get back to chasing more walleyes.
MFN TV will be right back after a brief message from the following sponsor.
Alright. We're on, it feels decent. This was our last fish of the day, and when sunset came around, the fish were plentiful but had a bad case of lockjaw, and it seemed nearly impossible to get any of them to commit. Well, we may have lost a few too.
There's a fish down by you.
Watch this thing absolutely inhale my bait.
Yep.
And it's gone.
Does he come off? Well, you nailed it.
And this one had me on the edge of my seat for what felt like forever. He just was not having it. As much as we didn't want to, it was time to pack up and take advantage of the clear weather for the trek back. We had enough fish for a meal and memories to last a lifetime. And for the fish that got away, well, maybe next time.
Until next time, thanks for watching MFN TV Tight Lines.